Okay.
It's recording.
Perfect. Well, welcome everybody to High Level Games presents Star Trek Adventures. I am your GM, VP Quinn, and why doesn't everybody introduce themselves?
I'm Vanessa. I play Dr. Bassa Item. Insert witty quote here.
I'm Michael. I'm playing Captain Celis Argel, and all of the things I say are quotable and witty.
I am Jake. I'm playing the First Officer Commander Kieran Hex, and here's a quote for you.
I'm Timothy. I play Lieutenant Commander Marcus Barton, and I didn't really want to introduce myself, but Quinn said I had to.
True.
Good. Thank you so much for being cooperative and helpful, everyone.
Always.
All right, so when last we left our intrepid heroes, you had discovered this Walian's ship, and then apparently there was a earthquake that Michael's dealing with. Everyone okay over there?
It's minor, like maybe 1 or 2 on the Richter scale.
All right.
Should we
Doing
send
okay.
emergency water?
I mean, you can. I wouldn't be mad or anything.
It'll be non-potable.
That's not what I need, but okay.
You mean,
For some
did you
plants.
say non-portable when you mean it non-potable?
He said
You said
non-potable.
Did you?
Mhm.
Okay, I thought you said non-portable. I'm just like, what's non-portable water?
It's
Can't
water
be
you
moved?
can't
The
take
ocean?
with you.
It's the
Yeah.
ocean.
Yeah,
Well,
the
let's get
ocean is
back on
non-portable.
track because this is not important, and this is the kind of thing that makes our brilliant producer Aaron go mad. So let's be nice to him and try to get back on track. So
I
when
am
last
not
we
at all
left
sorry.
our intrepid heroes, you had found the giant Walian ship, some 80 kilometers long. You had scanned it, you'd sent in probes, and everything was going swimmingly until the Immeasurable showed up. A Klingon bird of prey that is one of 3 crafts that make up the ships of the line of the Tyneridea space fleet. Though they do have some other Orion crafts throw around, but these are the ships of the line. Shortly thereafter, an Orion class vessel, or Orion Wanderer class vessel showed up with help. 2 of them ending up there, causing the Immeasurable to call in the Fathomless under General Zimpek. This began a 3-way standoff with Zimpek contacting Captain Celis Argel and suggesting that, maybe we should have a summit and try to talk this out. Right now, the Tyneridea are very, very focused on wanting to destroy this ship before it powers up and does whatever it was going to do, as it seems to be aimed at their planet, and they're quite aware of the destructive potential of this ship. The Orions have shown up and claimed salvage rights. They want access to the technology of this ship, or at least as much as they can get before it maybe wakes up. Both are not awesome options. This is certainly a prime directive situation in allowing the Tyneridea to destroy this vessel while it's relatively defenseless is not great, but also if any of the incredibly advanced technology that you looked at got into the hands of anyone, balance of power in this sector and possibly even in the quadrant could be upended. This is a big, huge, hairy problem. The Bonaventure has placed itself physically between the vessel and the opposing ships, both the Orion vessels and the Tyneridea vessels. That's where we are. Did I leave anything out?
We did also sneakily transport over there and check things out.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. You did.
Stole some information.
Yeah, you downloaded some information, some of which you haven't had time to look at. You also have a research project on the go trying to figure out a way to talk to these people, to the aliens, communicate with them. And that research, however, is going very slowly. At the
Usually
beginning,
we're really good.
at the beginning of this episode, you are at 7 threat and 0 momentum.
Exactly where we want them.
The threat has been escalating.
Mm-hmm.
So you had asked for them to come aboard the Bonaventure. They had agreed, and so the Tyneridea delegations have chosen to come aboard in shuttlecraft, whereas the Orions have chosen to beam aboard. The first to arrive will, of course, be the people beaming aboard. Is anyone going to be meeting them?
I'll meet them as head of the delegation.
Okay.
I figure the captain will want to remain on the bridge.
I
But really,
want
it's your
to-
call, not mine.
In the interest of stalling, I'm going to start like ordering snacks of that the different people are fond of. So
From Orion and
Order to-
Tyneridea
yeah,
delicacies.
yeah.
Okay.
Just anything to kind of like have them sit for a bit.
So are you going to take like their drink order and stuff when they come in?
I'm gonna have so many options.
Can
Nothing
we
but
infuse?
options.
What was that?
Can we infuse their drink order with sedative?
Anesthetizing gas.
No, I have the gas ready just in case.
What you should do is you should have the long list, and every time someone asks, you just have to go through the entire list.
I can do that. Yeah. Although that might agitate them. Probably not do that.
Yeah, let's try and be diplomatic at least for the first part.
Just continue to feed them. Feeding
Totally just
people
diplomatic.
slows down conversation, makes people a little bit happier, and makes them kind of sleepy. So, food. Just regular food.
Turkey. Give them turkey. Tryptophan.
Yeah, let's bomb these suckers with tryptophan.
I'll have an extra order of tryptophan in whatever dish.
So, as your medical officer plans on drugging your diplomatic
No,
guests,
that is not real. Just food. Not drugging people. Not now.
Not now.
Gas. Gas is a whole nother story, but then we're not there yet. So
so Spirit heads down to the transporter room. One over to that's engineering. Ah, there it is. Alright. So, Kira, do you go alone, or what's the deal?
I mean, is there a protocol in place for, bringing on quasi-hostile dignitaries?
Ithrosi should come.
Yeah, I mean, we often see in Star Trek that people greet them in groups. Like it's never just one person. It's
Mhm.
always like the commander. And
Oh, I could take them. It's not a problem. But why don't we have Ithrosi and a small security detail? Actually, you know what? I don't really like Ithrosi. Ithrosi should remain on the bridge, and I'll just take a small security detail.
Okay.
She's very unnerving to be around.
If you
You're
can read her
empath.
thoughts, yeah.
Yes.
So yeah, you head down to there. You with a small security detail. You arrive. The security chief says, "Sir, they're ready to beam over."
Roger that. Accept the beam.
Okay, they beam over, and they just have two people: Ozarkzo, the Orion family boss, and his daughter Cesara.
Cesaro.
Ozarkzo again is a large, rotund man, shirtless with multiple piercings and scarification all over his body, and not a few scars that might have been picked up in some violent encounters. Cesara is his daughter, and she is dressed quite provocatively, I guess, as Orion females tend to dress. And she is can be described as physically perfect. Her beauty is famous. They both beam in, and he stands there with his arms crossed. There's a disruptor at his belt and a knife on the other side, and he smiles a smirking grin. Ah, Captain. Wait, you're not the captain. Commander?
Captain Ozarkzo, welcome aboard the Bonaventure. If you'll follow me, I'll escort you to the meeting room.
Oh, of course. Have the Tyneridea shown up yet?
They should be here momentarily. We're just awaiting on their shuttles.
Of course. Well, let's go on then. He starts following you. As you walk towards the briefing room, he says, Commander, have you had many dealings with the Tyneridea?
I've had a fair number, yes.
And my people have been dealing with them for a half century.
So we have heard.
And let me tell you, you need to always be on your guard around them.
Of course, I'm always on my guard around everyone.
Remember, the surest way to know what the Tyneridea are not planning is that's the thing that they tell you about. They value secrecy. It's all part of this religion of theirs, culture, things hidden in the deep and the abyss, that sort of thing.
Sounds most fascinating, I'm sure.
Of course, I've made a slight anthropological study of it all. Commander, can I introduce you to my daughter, Cesara?
Pleased to meet you, Cesaro.
Hi, I've never been on a Federation starship before. It's so big.
I hope you enjoy your stay here.
Oh, can I get a tour later?
I will have to discuss that with the captain.
That would be delightful if I could. It's just so exciting. Out here we don't really get much in the way of Federation, and so just neat to meet new people, don't you think?
I do indeed, yes.
Great. You find yourself starting to think unchaste thoughts about her quite heavily. Your mind keeps drawing to these things over and over again.
Empath powers, was that picking up anything from them?
Well, what you can tell is that he is supremely confident. He's hiding something, but knowing Orions, that's probably just a state of being. He's very confident, and he sees a huge opportunity here. Cesara is a little bit more of a mystery. There's not a lot going on there. Her emotions are fluctuating rapidly, but there's not a lot of depth to them.
Would this be caused by? Could this be caused by like cybernetic modifications, technologies, or enhancements?
Well, you can certainly make a roll to find out more information.
I would really like to do that.
Hey, why don't you make a insight plus science roll?
I have a focus in cybernetic technology.
Will not apply.
Dagnabbit. It's like there's no other way that this is going to ever apply. Can a ship help me?
Nope. So this was a level 1 task, so you do gain 1 point of momentum out of the deal with your 2 successes. You do suddenly remember that Orion females give off a powerful pheromone that members of other genders or gender people that are attracted to their gender are impacted by this pheromone on a physiological level, and they're incredibly attracted to them, to the point sometimes of losing control. In those that wouldn't normally be attracted to Orion females, it causes massive headache.
Is there a known counter for said pheromones?
You're not aware of any.
Pardon me, I need to go take a cold shower. I'll be right back.
You can maybe let me know too after you take them, and maybe I can figure out some kind of inoculation. Gas all of us.
Yes, inoculating gas of safety.
They have hypo sprays, you guys.
Nope.
And it's just blanket coats everyone, though.
Just blanket everyone.
It's called
and
efficiency.
Kieran would be very flustered by her, I think.
Yeah.
He's not exactly a big on the control of himself guy, so I'm guessing that he would be start to stammer a little bit and maybe miss a turn or something.
Yeah, your ears are really hot, and you find your heart's beating quite fast. Your eyes tend to linger longer than you mean them to, and you generally find yourself out of sorts. Just being
going out of my way to make sure that she's taken care of.
Yeah. So you do get them to the briefing room, and we'll pause there. Who is going to meet the Tyneridea shuttles?
Captain staying on the bridge.
I can do it.
Okay.
Experience escorting dignitaries. Let's do this.
Okay, are you going alone?
I'll take a Throssi with me.
Okay. Frosty suggests that you take a security detail as well.
She's the expert. Let's do it.
Okay. So you guys head down there with the security detail, and you wait. They start coming into the shuttle bay.
Okay. Yeah, we're standing, behind that yellow line.
Shuttle bay. Oh, there it is.
Why don't they usher into?
So, you are in the shuttle bay. Two Trinidad shuttles are coming in one at a time. They land. Once they're both landed, the sides open up in tandem, and two armed Tyneridea soldiers come out with disruptor rifles, and they come out and they quickly sweep the area. This causes a lot of tension with the security personnel. Ithrasi waves them down, but you can tell that her hand has gone to her hand phaser that's at her belt, and you're not sure, even with your kind of training, you didn't see her hand move there. It was just so fast. And she just seems super calm, but she's watching everything like a predator.
Okay. I'm going to approach the shuttle. I have my hands up. Approach the shuttle. And just say, my friends, You are safe here. We are on a diplomatic mission all together here. As we discuss the summit, please, you do not need those weapons here.
They kind of scan the situation, and then they go, all clear. And out of each shuttle comes the two generals. The first general being General Vloseg, the bitter old veteran, in his black and blue military uniform, his skin kind of a blue going into a green. Kind of has a couple of battle scars, as that you didn't quite notice on the view screen. He comes out and immediately turns and prostrates on the floor of the shuttle. You see General Zimpek, the commander of the Fathomless. He comes out with a self-assured smile. He nods to you. He quickly glances over at your security, and he kind of gives almost a little chuckle. And he goes down to the end of his ramp, and he prostrates on the floor, face down, facing the shuttle as well. Behind them comes two more Tyneridea, both of them in long robes with masks on their face that are a silvery mirrored glass. So you can't see their face whatsoever, and the robes obscure their features. And they both come walking out, and once they get to the end of the ramp, they raise their hands and everybody rises. Once that's done, everyone gets up and turns. Zimpek looks at you and says, Lieutenant Commander, it is excellent to finally meet you in person.
General.
May I introduce Deepest Galcon and Deepest Zorek.
May I introduce Ethrasi, our Chief of Security.
It is highly complimentary that you have shown us with arms in hand. It shows in our culture some respect.
Thank you. This way, please.
My guards will stay with the shuttle crew. The delegation will be more of us.
Very good.
Deepest, and everybody kind of follows you along.
As I let them go out, and as Ethrasi and I exit, I kind of lean over and say, "Let's make a note about the weapons for them."
She nods, and as she's leaving, she kind of holds back for a second, and half the security detail stays behind to watch the shuttles, while her and the rest of them escort you to the briefing room. As you're walking, General what's his name? General Vloseg turns to you and says, I don't know why we're here. These Federation are not going to listen to our demands. We should just do what we came here to do, especially in light of these meddlesome Orions.
That is what this summit is meant for, so that each side may be heard, and each side may have a chance to speak.
You don't understand. Orions understand one thing. That's the business end of a disruptor cannon.
The Orions, yes, they have a reputation for being about as honorable as a grubworm or even a Ferengi. However, it is not for me to decide that. We are here for the summit, and I will ensure that it is carried out smoothly and properly.
So you think that the Orions are dishonorable then? Why do you treat them respect by asking for the summit?
Because, dishonorable though they may be, it would be best if we avoided bloodshed.
General Zimpek then says, there may be in those words. At this point, you kind of get to the briefing room. You're met there by the Orion delegation and liaison Jazzo of the Castores. Liaison Jazzo is sitting in the briefing room, looks up at the Tyneridea and the Orions as they come in, and he seems serene and calm, but you do get the impression that he tenses up as they enter the room. After Ithrasi escorts the delegation in, she turns and goes back out to the bridge, at which point she says, Captain, they are all ready for you. I think that it's probably best if I remain in command of the bridge during the briefing in case of treachery.
Very well. That was a strange sound. Yeah, no, I think that's an excellent plan. I think that while this meeting is take place, should remain on high alert. Really want to know what's happening and on the lookout for any unusual activity, like maybe attempting the Orions, for instance, attempting to covertly beam onto the ship. Like we really want to know about that. So
yeah, we wouldn't want anybody to do that, right, Captain?
Yeah, we wouldn't want anyone to do that.
Kind of like we
certainly wouldn't. So.
No, we'd never do that.
No, absolutely not.
All right. So at this point, I'm guessing everyone goes into the briefing room, the senior staff.
Yep.
Okay. So the senior staff are all sitting there, as well as the 7 guests you have around the table. General Zimpek, Deepest Galcon, Deepest Xorek, Jazzo, Ozarkzo, and Cesara.
And I start
room.
laying out food for everyone.
Dibs on the chair by Cesara.
She's super excited. She's like, "Oh, wow. Thank you so much. I wasn't expecting so much food. That's really nice of you. Thank you."
Anything else you need, just ask.
Oh, thank you. So nice, she says, and she kind of touches your arm.
Shivers.
Would I know about the Orion female? It's well known.
Well, you'd have to make a insight plus medicine test.
I'm going to do that because I don't want this whole thing to go down the tubes because of that.
Oh, I know about it. I just don't care.
Insight plus medicine.
Yeah, you certainly know about it.
All right. Can I roll to know if there's some kind of inoculation I can give?
Well, with the information that you have right now, you can spend 1 momentum and ask an additional question. You have a total of
One
momentum.
momentum. What say you?
I'm perfectly happy. I don't know what this
Captain?
whole fuss is about.
I'm quite suspicious of this lady, and I think that would be an appropriate way to spend her momentum.
Okay.
And by the way, everyone in the room knows that you're happy, Jake.
That's fair.
So, spending your momentum, yes, you do know that there is a vaccine that has been developed, but it would take you some time to replicate it.
I leave the room after handing out food, and I message. Who is it?
Nick?
Zik. Yeah, I message Zik to start preparing something. Explain to her what's going on and how I feel like it may interfere with proceedings.
Okay. Who was doing the communication research? Was it Bach?
No, it was Zik.
It was sick.
So you
Yeah.
have to.
Yeah.
Are you ordering her to stop that research and work on this?
Well, I mean, they're kind of different skill sets, sort of. So could we not just have two concurrent research projects?
Have you
could.
tried doing two
It's just-
researches at once?
It's just that the one person can only do one thing, right?
Yeah.
Because right now I think it's Zik and Falk, I think, are working on this on the community. Or no, with the linguist, Zik and the linguist are working on it. So somebody would have to actually go and replicate this item. And it's a technical process that would take some sciencing.
Some sciencing.
I would put Falk on the linguistic and Zik on the replication. But that's my advice. Take it for what you will.
Can I reassign at this point?
You certainly can.
Okay, that's what I'm going to say. I'm going to. I'm assuming Falk is probably on the bridge. I'm going to tell her to go down and get briefed by Zik on what's going on with the linguist, and tell Zik to start right away on vaccine against Orion female love.
Chemical love, but love nonetheless.
Anti-love. I need an anti-love potion, please.
Okay, so she definitely, they go off and do that. You again re-enter the room, I'm assuming?
Yep.
Okay, so everyone's sitting down around the briefing room. People have taken drinks. General Zimpek looks around at the table and goes, actually, what I would really want. Have you heard of this earth delicacy known as cream soda?
Oh, I have. I can definitely go replicate some cream soda. Have you also heard of cream soda floats where there is ice cream in the glass?
No.
Okay. Everyone, cream soda?
You see a lot of...
Absolutely. Cream soda for everyone.
Okay, I'll get a round of cream soda coming up.
Fantastic.
I make sure to replicate like a straw with like a twirly straw.
Oh, of course.
And like an old-fashioned glass-looking mug.
I hope you also remind our guests that it's Earth custom to finish your cream sodas before discussing business. And that these are extra large cream sodas with ice cream.
Like 3 gallons in each glass.
Yeah, it's a formidable amount of cream soda.
You can definitely let them know of Earth Customs. I'll just keep bringing stuff in.
After our cream sodas, it's customary to have hot dogs.
It's customary for naps.
Customary pre-business, post-cream soda nap.
Marcus's eyes just keep getting
was
bigger. Like, I had no idea.
You uncultured swine.
I was raised by Klingons, okay?
this-
Not
this
big
is
on the cream soda and the naps.
No. Where's my gach?
All right, so everyone's sitting down. They're getting their cream sodas, making kind of. Cesara's making small talk with Kirid and finding excuses to touch him every time she talks to him and stuff. Just a little bit on the shoulder or the arm or something like that.
I asked Kirid, I tell him I need him right away outside of the briefing room just before we get started.
Are you sure someone else can't help you, Doctor? I'm busy with our guest.
And you're doing a great job. Can
All
I
right,
sit
so
there?
I'll be right back, Cesara. You just wait there. Yes? What is it? What do you need?
Well, I know that you probably are aware of the effect Orion females.
Yes. No, I know.
Okay,
See,
so,
I'm playing
I'm going to go
long.
sit in your spot
She
right
thinks-
now.
She thinks that she has me under her spell. I've got this.
Okay, well, I'm going to go sit in your spot for a while anyways.
I think it would
Thank
be
you.
better
And
if
I leave and go in and go sit in his spot. Men.
Men.
When you
Was
come
her-
in, she's turned and she's now speaking to Marcus. And she's just like,
Yeah.
so you were raised by Klingons? That's so fascinating.
Yeah.
The only good
Um,
thing is she's drawing this out a long time. The sucky part is it's to our detriment.
Yes, I was. I spent many a day hunting some tard.
That must have made you so strong.
Yes, indeed. If you excuse me, he gets up and
I take his vacated seat.
No. Captain, did you explain about where cream sodas came from yet?
No, I
Okay,
haven't.
so Ozarxo stops. He's like, okay, we need to get rolling here. Captain,
Very well.
It's your ship. It's your briefing room. Why don't you get us started?
Well, everyone, we're here today to avoid potential conflict. It seems like we all have interest in this mysterious vessel, and it would seem advantageous that we talk out our differences here at length, rather than risk a miscommunication or a misstep on one of our parts that could result in a tragedy.
Well, I don't think there needs to be a tragedy, Ozarxo says. Simply, under Orion law, we take command of this salvage operation. We will gladly share anything we find with the other parties, but we should beam over very quickly to begin our survey.
Do I know anything about Orion law, or
You're not sure that's actually a thing.
okay?
Like Orion's work under a code of conduct. Laws are more suggestions, like what governs their interactions with each other. But the closest analogy I could give you is they're the kinds of laws that like a crime family would. Right? So there tend to be around loyalty to your superior and you need to pay. But there's no like Orion legal code that you're aware of.
Well, we before any salvage operation can continue in accordance with Federation law, we simply need to make sure that this is in fact a derelict. So we'll have some more research to do and some more scans. And once we conclusively demonstrate that this is a derelict spaceship, that there aren't any living beings on board, we'd be more than happy to let you have it.
Jazzo at this point speaks up and says, I don't think that anyone should be allowed to go aboard. It seems that this would be in the best interest of all parties to leave this vessel of such great power be. Maintain the balance in the system, in the sector, and the quad.
You cut out right around, I don't think it's in anyone's interest.
Jazzo says, I don't think it's in anyone's interest to go aboard at all. We should leave these aliens to themselves.
Well, once we're done our work here, we'll certainly leave them. And you could certainly leave them as well once we're done our work, which will be shortly, perhaps in 7 or 8 or 9 hours. At which point you can do as you will.
General Vlasag says, I disagree with Liaison Jazzo, of course. Because of course the cowardly Castores would ask that we leave this alone, because all of our evidence shows that it's coming at our planet. They have a vested interest in seeing us destroyed.
Well, we don't believe that that's the case.
Do you want to... You are lying. You actually believe... What? You actually have the route that they're taking, and they are going to...
Mm-hmm.
So, if you are going to fly in this circumstance, that's fine, but you're going to have to make a roll to get away with it.
Okay.
Just sidestep.
Yeah, maybe. Do I have to overt lie, or can I just not address this?
That's your call.
That's your call.
Can I assist him in the lie and roll extra dice?
I'm saying, can I avoid rolling and just not bring this up?
Yeah.
Oh,
that's
well, we don't know what we don't know, and we still have some things to figure out about this vessel, and we don't know that it's dangerous. We don't really even know where it's headed. So we've got some determinations to make. Oh, that was a lie.
That was a direct lie.
that was a dirty base lie.
All right, so you're going to be rolling a control plus command.
Okay. Let's see here. Control plus command. Okay. Would this fall under diplomacy?
Sure.
Great.
Oh no!
This is not good.
Oh.
Can the computer assist me in the lie? Can the ship assist?
No.
We do not know where it is
just
going.
Have the computer screen show a arrow to a question mark. The ship is going. We don't know.
As you can see, we don't know where it's going.
Oh my God.
Is that PowerPoint? So you say that, and it just drops kind of like a lead balloon into the assembly as everyone just turns and looks at you. Deepest Galcon and Deepest Xorak both lean towards their respective generals looking at you. Kirid, at this point, you're super distracted. You're you and Marcus are kind of having a lot of difficulty keeping focused on the proceedings. But
Marcus left the immediate area.
I know.
Okay.
But you do get the immediate empathic impression that from the deepists that there is some kind of telepathic ability.
Ah. Okay. Well, back to Caesara, because this is far more interesting. I mean, like, it's not illegal for them to telepathically communicate.
Nope.
Yeah. That's awesome. Good for them.
Son of a gun.
Yeah. I think
My
this is the one-
control is almost half of what the captain's is. This is literally what Kieran would do. He's got like no control over his impulses.
Yeah, Kieran's starting to sweat pretty heavily. And at this point, Captain, you also, as you're having this conversation, keep kind of like glancing over to Caesara.
Sorry, it absolutely cut out.
He was too busy looking at Caesara. It's not
So
good.
Yeah.
At this point, Captain, you are also starting to occasionally glance over at Caesara.
Mm-hmm.
But she's very, very attractive to begin with, but you're finding yourself
Okay.
kind of not to the point where it's affecting your judgment or anything, but you are being a little bit distracted. Dr. Bassa, what you are encountering is a sleigh headache.
Oh.
Captain, if you wouldn't mind, I know Caesara wanted to see part of the ship. I was wondering if I could take her.
Absolutely. Anything she wants. Be a gracious host and show her around the ship at length with the security detail
Of women.
Yes.
Caesara,
Yeah?
come with me. I have much to show you. Cream soda is just the very beginning.
Oh, great. I find this stuff so boring.
Okay. My plan is to take her to the holodeck.
Okay.
Into some program.
You invite her out. You invite her out.
Wait, I just had a great idea.
What?
Could the program in the holodeck somehow just be the ship, and we could trick her into thinking she's touring the ship?
I would love that.
I thought that was my thought when you said
Mhm.
holodeck.
Do a holodeck in a holodeck.
Yeah. Inception.
Ship in a bottle.
Mm-hmm.
Or you could give her a tour of a 19th century brig.
Probably not the best.
So you leave and you choose a couple of members of the security detail to come with you, and you head out. Continue with the meeting.
Well, Kieran's now a little bit sullen. Really doesn't like the doctor right now.
Yeah, I think we're all a little bit unhappy that Sarah's left.
Mm-hmm. It's the only thing I liked about this meeting.
Do you want to go on the tour too?
Can I?
No.
You may not.
Okay. So we're coming back to the meeting after your egregious lie. Let's see how you pick up from this.
Yep.
General Zimpak kind of smiles and says, without evidence to suggest otherwise, then, Captain, I will have to assume that this ship is a direct and imminent threat by work.
Oh, I mean, we don't know that.
Of course, no. Now, as we think through what we are going to do, I wonder if your Orion guests know your senior staff's opinion of them.
With all due respect, General, how does anyone's opinion of somebody else matter in this context? We're discussing a situation, not our feelings about it.
My opinion of Orions is great. I don't know what.
Lie!
I can
Roll
only
it.
speak for myself.
But yet, Lieutenant Commander Barton confided in us on the way to this meeting that Orions have the honor of a Ferengi. Isn't that right, Lieutenant Commander?
I really like Ferengi.
Yeah.
You always know where you stand with them.
Yeah. Yet even Ferengi can be reasoned with.
See how he addresses you? Even Ferengi. Fascinating, isn't it?
General, I must protest. You are not helping anything. You're not helping anyone by this line of talk.
To your credit, Ozarkzo leans back and he says, I understand the reputation my people sometimes labor under, and I understand the bigotry and prejudice of the Federation. This will not have an impact on these proceedings.
And we would appreciate if you did not allow that you are not allowing the hearsay prejudice of one of our officers to impact these proceedings.
Of course not. Of course not. I am nothing if not reasonable. So, shall we continue? Captain, we are
Yes.
here talking. It was at your request. Find us a solution out of this mess.
Well, we don't really have a stake in what's happening with this vessel long term. So we feel it's for you to sort out with the Tyneridea, which you can absolutely do just as soon as we're done our scientific research and scans, and it should only be several more hours until that's completed, and then you can do as you will. So just need a little bit of time and we won't be a problem at all.
I get the sense that you're stalling, Captain, and deception does not agree with you. I will amend my position. If we can be provided with scientific, verifiable evidence that this vessel is, as you say, occupied, not a danger, and so on, I'll renege my claim. And in so doing, I'll suggest a joint awayment.
Well, we'll have to take a bit of time to get that together and make sure that it's
I'm ready
conducted
now. My
safely.
communications officer and one other are ready to beam over.
What is your intention for this joint away mission? What are your objectives?
To verify that it is not either a threat or a derelict.
I understand the latter of those two objectives, but the former, how is it possible for you to identify something as not a threat?
Well, we can only know if we beam over. Surely,
You're not
in the
addressing my
spirit
question.
of exploration, gaining new information is well within what's acceptable, is it not?
Absolutely. And this sounds like an excellent course of action. Move forward in the spirit of exploration and discovery. And we'll be able to do that in mere hours, but not right now.
Why not?
We have scans to finish. One of our scientists, Falk, would need to accompany us on the mission. She's currently occupied with a project, but will be done shortly.
No,
Would you like another cream soda?
I don't think that's acceptable. I think that these things can be handled very quickly. I'm ready to go. Are you, Tyneridea party, ready? General Zimpek says, "We'd be ready, Italy. Of course, if the vaunted efficiency of the Federation is not up to the task, perhaps we could go alone and share our findings."
Captain, I can lead the scientific component of the away team.
Very well. Be sure to, the ship is very large. Be sure to explore only essential areas as I shoot you a telling glance to look in storage closets.
I've totally not been there before, so I have no idea what to expect.
Yeah, you have no idea. So wherever, just, really focus your efforts and, be kind to our guests.
General Vlasag says, "Our scans indicate that there is a large mass at the center. We should beam there."
Well, our Kirid can speak to this further, but our sensors, far more sophisticated than yours, indicate that one of the peripheries is an essential component, and that it would be essential to go there first.
I was a science officer during the war. Put your findings up on that view screen and let's look at them together.
See, I'm not really comfortable with the fact that you are ordering me to lie to them.
Also, you just lied. Let's do this again, my friend.
Yeah.
Oh no.
Control plus command.
Who knew the captain was such a liar?
No
We had no idea.
And he's ordering me to lie. I don't want to lie.
I'm trying to stall. It's not going so good. All right, so command plus control?
Yep.
Okay. Please work.
Ooh.
Well, you shouldn't have a problem with just throwing that information up then.
So could I perhaps go to the touch screen and pull up some very raw data that would be incredibly difficult for an untrained eye to really get much from?
He was a scientific officer.
Yeah, he's gonna get it.
These are trained eyes.
Know.
Yeah.
He's called your bluff.
Yes, you got to show him your cards.
Say something about like what you're allowed to show and some kind of I'm pretty sure there's some Federation regulation that you don't just freaking hand over everything you have, right? Like that's
Also, that was a level 2 task and you got 3 successes, so you do have 1 momentum again.
Keep lying.
Fantastic.
Keep earning us that momentum.
what could go wrong?
Yeah, I can't see anything.
The particulars of where you need to go should maybe not a discussion for now, but something that the away team can sort out on their own, including selecting a landing site and making sure that it's safe. And
in the meantime, General and Captain, I suggest that you summon your away team here so that we can all prepare a joint team together
Captain Cesaro says, I'm comfortable just sending my communications officer.
I respect that.
She just left with your doctor.
Fantastic.
Well, as soon as she's done her tour.
Can't we communicate with her now? Cesara, report back to the briefing room. You're about to go on an away mission.
Well, this is fantastic.
Have fun.
Yeah, no, have a good time.
Yeah. Don't get
Have a
how it
good
goes.
time. It'd be good. Yeah.
Yeah. Don't get penisy.
Try to
Fine.
keep them down there for as long as possible.
Totally considering this a first date.
Does Zik have any more on inoculations before we send people down with her?
It's going to take about an hour. So you
Could we spend
guys
some momentum?
you guys aren't quite there yet.
Can you guys set a date for an hour? Like
A mere hour. It's not long.
Well, actually, it's less than that. We've been talking.
Yeah.
so. And maybe start going through like regulations, like what needs to be on this away mission, including not everyone having all the weapons, not everyone like.
Yeah, no, we have some
Right, you
protocol
have
stuff
lots
to
of
go
stuff to
over.
discuss.
It'll be very, it won't take long.
We need to lay down
make
ground rules if this is going to be a multi-stakeholder affair.
All right. So General Vlasag and two of his guards are going to be their portion of the away mission. Cesara is going to be the other component of the away mission. Jake, are you taking anybody else with you?
It's Rossi.
Ithrasi? Lovely. So
I
yeah,
figured
she's
that's
all
about the
creepy
equivalent
until
of-
you're in a bad situation. Now suddenly you want her. There.
She's the equivalent of a cold shower for the empath being bombarded with pheromones.
All right, so they kind of all leave, and everybody else kind of remains in the room. Dr. Bassa, now you are without Cesara. She's being summoned to transporter pad, and you.
Well, did we have enough time to stall and get these inoculations?
Not yet.
Okay.
They haven't gone yet.
Yeah, so I'm gonna probably go down after she's not in my immediate distance and go help Zik so we can get this done as quick as possible.
Okay, you do get there. You're feeling very lethargic and kind of dopey, and getting worse and worse headache.
Yeah.
But you do go down to sickbay to work on this inoculation. Captain, so you're left with Deepest Galcon, Deepest Xorak, General Zimpek, Liaison Jazzo, and of course Ozarkzo.
So, wouldn't it be prudent to, as this is a multi-stakeholder affair, include everyone? So the Orions, the Tyneridea, just, we should have everyone come to this ship. Not just a few.
The Deepests will not transport.
Oh. Are there particular concerns?
General Zimpek says it is against their rights to transport. They must be moved with shuttlecraft. Also, they are too honored to be put in any kind of danger, and I will not allow them to go on an away mission. However, should you think these proceedings have met their conclusion, I will gladly board our shuttlecraft and return to the Fathomless.
So the deepists wouldn't be able to participate, but could you perhaps nominate another member of your crew? We just want to make sure that your interests are represented on this.
I have every confidence in General Vlasag.
Very well. It's your loss.
Well, that
You can
was an
change-
insult.
You can change your mind. I mean, you know, if you want to fly over in your shuttlecraft, get someone else, fly them back.
Are you trying to get rid of us now?
Oh, no,
Captain.
not at all. We'd like it if you stayed.
Caesara just kind of puts his hand over his mouth and kind of stifle a laugh. Says, "Oh, Captain, you're new, aren't you?"
No.
Let me tell you how this typically. You see, we all get together. The Tyneridea puff out their chest, act angry, aggressive, strong, regardless of their actual. The Orions try to maximize profit in the most efficient ways possible, not bound by your colonial morality. And you, Federation, pompously lecture everyone as to how this is supposed to be, and how your way of life is so much better and superior to everyone. But instead, you seem to be playing the role of the Orion. That confuses me. You're ill-suited to it, Captain. Most Federation.
We have nothing to profit from this.
But I would bet that something time-sensitive is being waited for.
What makes you say that?
The fact that you've done everything in your power to slow these proceedings down.
In every proceeding, he explains how cream soda is made.
That's a fact. I'm very fascinated by cream soda and its production process. Well, you know, we have our own stake in this.
What is that
and
exactly?
One of peaceful scientific discovery and exploration.
There it is. Doesn't that feel better? Pedantically explaining your worldview and ideals to the lesser species, the unenlightened one.
I'm sorry you took it that way.
Oh, don't get your uniform in a twist, Captain. He leans back and kind of smug, self-satisfied look on his face. Meanwhile, at the transporter pad, Tyrid is joined by General Vlasag and two Tyneridea guards with disruptor rifles, as Caesara is escorted into the room. And she's like, "Oh, we're going on an away mission? That's so exciting."
It is, I know!
Are you good at away missions? I don't get to go on very many.
If I do say so, I am.
Really?
Yes.
She puts her arm under yours, holding your arm, and says, "I just feel so protected if you're around."
Don't worry, my lady, I will protect you. Did you see this leg? Got this on an away mission.
Wow. That's so cool.
And he's going to proceed to tell her exactly how he lost his way, highlighting his daring and bravery in the whole thing.
That's amazing. Don't you think that we should beam over, though? Do we have a plan or anything? General Vlasag is just like, "What is happening here?"
Before we go, we need to lay down the ground missions, as we are a multi-stakeholder mission, on the rules of conduct for each party.
I understand. I propose that I will be in command.
I object to that proposition. I propose that rather than having a lead commander as you would on one of your normal away missions, we operate as a joint task force.
So you got a sense from Athrasi when he said that, like just a spike in aggression? And then it just, as you talk, it tapers back down.
I feel actually more comfortable with her here, and this is one of those weird situations where that's not normal. Instead, I propose that we lay out rules as to what each party can and cannot do. I will start off. I propose that no party takes any technology or any item from on board the vessel without the approval of both other parties.
Zara says, I think that's a great suggestion. General Vlasek says, agreed.
Excellent. This is a joint fact-finding mission. Any discoveries should be shared.
Agreed. I have a proposal.
Yes.
If we do find it a threat to my homeworld, must take all steps to stop that threat by whatever means necessary.
I disagree. We are a fact-finding and evidence-gathering mission only. Any further actions of that nature have to be decided upon in the council.
Well,
I'm not saying that they cannot occur, but we will not do it on this mission.
Why don't you roll a command plus control task?
I thought I said it in a more daring manner.
Ha! You forgot to add that.
Ha-ha!
That's so daring of you.
Scared the cat. That was good.
No. With no successes, General Vlasek is not interested in this meandering way of doing business and says, no, absolutely not. We definitely must take all steps should we find this. I promise that we will not do anything unless it becomes necessary. But should it become necessary, nothing will stop me from protecting my world.
I don't know if I can support this away mission if the three groups on board cannot be represented in a way that is beneficial to all.
Listen, Commander, I'm going over there. You can come or you can stay. I've agreed to your proposals up till now. I think we have a workable system.
Then how would you feel about this counteroffer if we find that it is the threat that you mention and all three groups come to an agreement, or even if there's a majority, if 2 out of the 3 groups come to an agreement, then we can take those steps. I don't like
Make
the idea.
a command and control test.
Is there any way that I could use presence as presence is personality and strength of
I'll accept
character?
that. Presence and command.
I am so much better at that. It's like his jam.
2 successes.
Damn.
That will gain you 1 momentum. And General Vlasek says, agreed. But I'm going to add 1 point of threat.
That's what the general says? Because that's
Yeah.
a really weird thing for him to say. Well, I'm going to add 3 points of momentum, so there.
All right. So, are we ready? Yeah, are we ready?
Captain, this is Commander Hex. Is there any reason why the away team should not depart?
They need their inoculations. It's standard procedure. It probably would be standard procedure for me because I'm such a anal person about things going wrong.
I don't believe our guests will tolerate any further delays. Go ahead. Be sure to bring a be sure to bring a Throssi, and make sure that nothing goes wrong.
Understood, Captain. I'll do my best.
Rossi interprets that as kill them all if necessary.
Like, I can't say it, but like if I just kind of hint,
Well,
Throssi will turn this in the right
That's
direction.
what a Throssi gets out of everything. So really,
yeah.
you
We
could be
should
like,
get some
play
cream-
nice, and you're like, okay, I will kill them all if necessary. No, that's not what we meant.
All right. Well, with the captain's go-ahead, I see no reason to delay any longer.
All right, lovely. Can someone make a transporter check? It is going from one transporter pad to another, so it's a level 1 task. Someone can roll on David Humphrey's behalf. He can do the transport for you. And this is a reason plus engineering test.
I can do that. Reason plus engineering.
Yep.
All right.
Two successes. Perfect.
Can
That
the
would have been a
computer
good
assist?
time to fail.
You do gain 1 point of momentum.
Can the computer assist as well?
Oh, yeah, certainly. The ship can assist with sensors plus engineering.
Go, go, roll the dice. A hit roll. It says it's rolling. There we go.
So a 7 and 11. So wait, engineers. What did I say? Engineers. So yeah, both of those are successes because sensors plus engineering is a 15 for the Bonaventure.
Yes.
2 more successes, bringing your momentum up to 5.
Thank you, David Humphreys.
Awesome.
He's pretty awesome at engineering type things, even if he is kind of a dick sometimes.
Well, we're away.
All right, back to the briefing room. Captain Marcus, and now Dr. Bassa, or no, you're still away. So Captain Marcus, you're still in there. At this point, Liaison Jazzo says, Captain, I think that we are reaching an impasse. Do you have a plan for these proceedings? If not, my suggestion is we go our separate way until such time as we have new evidence.
Being that this has all gone terribly poorly and that the crowd has thinned out a bit, are there any Orion representatives still here?
Yeah, Caesara, or not Caesara.
Or is there?
Zarxo.
Zarxo.
Ozark, so
What is that snapping
Zarxo.
sound?
Sorry, that's me. I'm snipping things. I'll stop.
Yeah, I feel like we've reached as much of a conclusion as we can, and that we can all go back to our ships now.
Zarxo smiles and he says, Yeah, I think that's probably a good.
It's a bad idea.
Do you want to actually stay together until you actually get the results of this
Yeah, because otherwise
fact-finding
they're just going
mission?
to do what they want over there.
Keep them on
They
your
could
ship.
beam. Yeah.
Can I propose that we stay here until the fact-finding mission is concluded?
You can do whatever you want. You're the captain.
All right. Well, I'm going to propose that to everyone here.
So stay in this room, or
Yeah, stay in this room. Have some, have
Take
some
him
ice
to the
cream.
holodeck.
May I propose a tour, Captain?
Oh, tour sounds great.
General Zimpex says, yes, I would love to see of the vaunted Bonaventure.
Great. Let's go for a tour.
Tell me, Captain,
Who?
are your engines better repair than when I towed you into Castoria?
Yes, and thank you for your help.
Of
It was
course.
appreciated.
No, we're gonna need a tow back.
After this.
Awkward. We actually just got stuck out here. That's why we're here.
Yeah.
So we're going to go on a tour, but the captain just wants to step out for a moment to consult with the chief of the boat, Zeg. Just
Okay.
really briefly.
All right. So let's see. With all of you in the meeting, and Throssi is gone, and David's down in engineering, who's in command of the bridge right now?
Marcus.
Well, no, Marcus is in the
No, I'm in the meeting too.
meeting.
Meeting.
I think you should leave and go take command of the bridge.
It's like probably
It's probably Zeg or
Dizrak. Let's see. What's Dizrak's? He's a lieutenant, so yeah, probably Dizrak.
Okay.
Hey. So yeah, Zeg is probably on the bridge as well, though. Captain? Or, sorry, Zeg is Tellerite. Hi, Captain.
So just like to bring Zeg to the quietness of the ready room.
All right.
Ready room.
So then, since this is a new scene, I'll reduce your momentum by 1. Okay. You're in the ready room with Zeg. Yeah, Captain. What can I do for you?
I'm going to be occupied with our guests for the next several hours. I need you to create and implement a contingency plan.
What do you need, Captain?
This goes poorly. I'd like you to put together a plan that can be executed very quickly to effectively incapacitate all of our guests the moment something goes wrong. I personally have a preference for anesthetizing gas, but you can proceed as you see fit.
I kind of figured you'd favor the anesthetizing gas. It tends to be pretty indiscriminate, though, so I'll see what else I can come up with.
Very well.
Captain, are we going to fight today?
I certainly hope not.
All right. Captain.
Dismissed. Oh.
Oh,
yes, Zeg.
Oh, that's good.
Oh, great.
Okay. You guys had an awkward parting.
Yep.
And then you are going to take the rest of the party on a tour of the Bonaventure. So we are going to switch scenes to the ship.
She's a good ship.
Excuse me. All right, so you've transported aboard near the center mass, and you're in the same area that you were in before. Immediately, the 2 Tyneridea guards are pointing their disruptor rifles out and up and trying to make sure that they don't have any hostiles. They bring an eyepiece over one eye, each of them, so that they can see in kind of this dim light. General Vlaseg pulls out a disruptor at his belt, a hand disruptor, and he's kind of looking around. Cesara is just holding on to your arm. And Athrasi also has a hand disruptor. She's making a general show of pointing it outwards, but her hand keeps sweeping towards the Tyneridea.
Start scanning. Make it look like you've never been here before.
Yep. So, whoa. Do you see that?
What?
And the giant fish bowl, well, whale bowl.
Oh, wow. That looks great. Can you take a picture of me with a holo imager? And she hands one to you and goes and stands in front of it and poses.
Is this a bizarre request, or is that just me?
It's not the most brainy request in the world. I mean, essentially, you're not quite sure why she's here. She's supposed to be their communications officer. For all you know, she's there because her dad runs the ship.
I'm pretty sure he knows in his mind why she's here, but his body don't care.
Right.
So he's going to go ahead and take the picture.
He asks you to take a few and poses a few different ways. General Vlaseg pulls out a scanning device and starts taking scans, rolls his eyes.
Yep. I'm gonna do the same as soon as I take her several pictures.
She takes the holo imager back. She's like looking through the pictures as you get to work.
Yep.
You see Athrasi touch her temple and just kind of rub it. Ugh.
I know it's happening, and that's unfortunate for her.
All right, so you're kind of ostensibly in command of this way mission. What are you gonna do?
I'm going to begin scanning equipment similar to the general, to make a good show of not having been here before.
All right. He starts scanning, and kind of near that panel that you guys looked at before, he's like, I think this is a terminal. We probably can access... Sorry, that's not his voice at all. I think this is a terminal. I think we can probably access it from here.
Good point. Let's see what we can do.
All right. He rolls over there and starts pulling the panel off and looks very familiar as he kind of starts looking through things. He's like, I think I can try to set up a hatch, download some information.
What do you need help from me?
If you can run and he starts asking you to run algorithms and stuff like that.
We're both science officers. I like this guy.
Yeah, he's actually got a thing or two on the ball. So he is a science officer. He also has a applicable focus, and that focus is computer operations. So he's going to roll his dice, and he gets one success. You can roll a single dice to assist him.
All right.
Now, do you really want to help or not?
See,
really?
this is what I'm wondering: is if
Yeah.
I'm actually assisting or making a show of assisting.
Could this roll be for perhaps an activity that makes it appear that you're assisting, but actually kind of misdirecting?
Well, see, the thing is, that's a bit too direct for this approach, I think, because even if he gets information, I don't think they'll be able to do anything with it, just like we can't. So I think I'm actually going to assist him. What is the roll here?
So you roll a d20.
Yep, reason plus science.
Yeah.
Okay. That's should have asked that.
Well, that's awesome, because he only got one success, and with your natural one, you added a 2, and this is a level 3 task. So without your help, he wouldn't have been able to get anything.
I don't even focus on this. This is just a natural one.
Well, that's lovely. So you begin to download some data. It's essentially the same files you were able to access the last time, and he starts bringing it down. As soon as he gets it downloaded, he quickly transfers it over to you because you're supposed to be sharing everything. And then he transfers it over to Cesara. But as he's doing that, he rolls his eyes, and she's just kind of like looking around and taking pictures. And she pulls back the holo imager and takes a selfie.
Oh, nice. General, what do you make of this over here? So I'm pointing towards the giant fishbowl.
It was.
Seems to be the center of this chamber.
It does. It seems that there are life forms there.
Shall we move closer to investigate?
Of course. So he moves over there, begins scanning. He's definitely going to try to scan these things again. He does not have an applicable focus in play here, but he rolls much better and gets 2 successes. Are you assisting him?
This is information I want for myself, so I am absolutely assisting him. Because this is information we can use.
Right. Yeah, that's a 3rd success. So certainly you gain the information that you already previously had, that these are whale-like creatures, that they clearly have some a high level of sophistication in their nervous systems and in their cerebral cortexes, as well as that they seem to be in some kind of stasis. However, what you can do right now is you can spend momentum to ask additional questions about those creatures.
Right.
And you
I
have
think this is important.
3 momentum right now.
So, other members of this team, what questions do you think would be interesting to find out? Like how long it will take them to wake up, maybe?
It's probably important, right?
Okay, well, I have 1 vote of support. I'm going to run with that.
You're welcome.
Thank you. I'm going to spend a momentum to ask how long before these creatures are out of stasis.
Okay. You spend the momentum. You guys are down to 2 momentum, and the answer is approximately 5 hours.
Okay.
Sorry, approximately
5 hours.
5 hours. Okay.
All right. Is there anything else that would be of interest?
Bless you, Tim. I just saw him sneeze while he was muted. It was the funniest thing ever.
I missed it.
Thank you.
Would it be possible to ask how to accelerate the process, or is that something not covered by this role?
If you add another momentum,
is it worth it?
I kind of feel like it's our primary concern right now. Is
we don't want them to be attacked while they're in stasis, because that's kind of a D-bag move.
I'm going to spend a second momentum to ask, how can we accelerate their waking up from this stasis?
So, it's going to be difficult, but if you do send in excited gamma radiation into the core, which would just be a matter of beaming over some equipment and kind of bombarding that thing with this radiation, they'll wake up much, much faster.
Mhm.
So you'd reduce the time to wake up to about 20 minutes.
Okay.
Oh, wow.
Fantastic. General, what do you make of these creatures?
Fascinating. Advanced. Very clearly not a derelict ship. Not the
Mhm.
Cesara cares.
Yes. Cesara.
Focus, Commander.
Yes, sorry. So this is not a derelict ship. So that makes their claim tenuous at best, if it ever wasn't.
Yes. The question that remains then is it a threat to my world?
Yes.
We've downloaded
How-
some information. The other thing that I have noticed is that this is an incredibly advanced ship, and there is nothing that we could do to stop it once they do awake. So any decision we make as to a course of action must be made before that happens.
Why, once they're awake, would that not give us an ability to parlay with them?
You said yourself you don't know how to communicate with these things, and based on your last run-in, they walked through the Federation a century ago.
That was 100 years ago. And that was, by all accounts, an unmanned drone. This has actual creatures manning it. If they are more advanced, as is clearly visible, they should be able to find a way to communicate with us.
Also, you can maybe share the information that you have 5 hours, which isn't a lie,
Well,
and not,
they have the information.
they
got
would
it
have that
together.
information with those questions. So
Yeah.
Because no, I'm working with him in all good faith. This is not a show. I'm not the captain. I'm
No.
actually trying.
yeah, well, I just didn't know how the asking questions thing would work. But yeah, so 5 hours. I mean, you can
Or 20
flat out
minutes.
say maybe you can give us time to try and find a way to communicate in that 5 hours, right? 'Cause we are-
I think my logic is sound.
If the ship is going to be a threat, I mean, they're waking up now. By the time it got to Tyneridea, they'd be awake regardless. So
But
they
they
have
wanna-
nothing to lose.
What he's saying though
destroy it
is
now.
destroy it now while it's
Relatively
while it's
defenseless.
vulnerable. Yeah.
Hmm.
I have trouble with taking that the course of action that would lead to the destruction of this ship, Commander or General, without further knowledge about their intentions. I understand your desire to protect your homeworld, and indeed it is admirable. To take these creatures' lives based on what you fear they could be would be the ultimate injustice.
Fear has kept my people alive. We fought a bloody conflict against the Castores. Then the Orions came. In my lifetime, I've learned it's much safer for me and mine to destroy first and ask questions later.
And so you would just deem them a threat without the information to back it up.
I'll look for the information before I make a decision. But I'll tell you, if I can't find any reason to declare them a non-threat by the time they're going to awake, I will counsel General Zimpek that we make a combined strike at this vessel. And as it is right now, we could beam several explosive devices aboard across the entire length of this ship and blow it into smithereens before anything happens.
Yes, you could. And to that end, I vote we most definitely continue with our research. Let us see if we can ascertain if this vessel is indeed a threat.
So then I suggest that I beam back to my ship so that I can begin an analysis of the files that we downloaded.
Do you have the facilities in order to do so?
I do.
All right. I will take the information, return to my own vessel, and do the same.
All right.
parlay in an hour. Make a date.
Yeah. Would you? Do you think it would be prudent to meet with our findings in several hours to compare notes, so to speak?
Absolutely. But I am going to leave these guards on to guard this area from any wanted. I myself will beam aboard the Immeasurable and begin my analysis.
And
General
I will-
Vlasek to Immeasurable, 1 to beam. Cesara's like, wow, that was rude.
I think it's time for us to depart, Cesara.
So what did we find out?
We have information that we need to analyze, and then so we don't know what we found out.
You're lying, so I'm going to need a roll.
No, I'm not. We don't know what we found out. We downloaded information.
You downloaded the exact same files that you downloaded last time, which revealed to you that the target was Tyneridea.
Okay, that's fair.
So, let's see.
The target, that's its destination.
Destination, target, depends
No,
on perspective.
You can take that perspective, but that is stretching it.
That's certainly how the Tyneridea would see it.
I absolutely agree with that, but still,
So why don't you?
The semantics in this case are important.
Why don't you make a presence plus command task?
All right.
Woo!
Very well done. That was a level 2 task, so you gain no momentum, but you do succeed. And Cesara goes, "Oh, okay.
Shall we? I'll return you to your father."
Well, great. I mean, before that, I'd really love it if we could get something to eat first. I'm so hungry.
We can definitely do that on board the Bonaventure.
Oh, that's lovely. Have good dining on the Bonaventure?
I'll take you to my favorite spot. You got a view out the front of the ship. It's gorgeous.
Oh, that sounds great.
She's trying to distract me, but we'd already done this. This is this is phenomenal.
Should we leave Ithrasi?
Yes, no, Ithrasi is going to be left on board. So yeah, Commander Hex to Bonaventure 2 for beam.
Ithrasi says that she will leave the 2 security personnel that came with her on board, but she feels her place is back on the ship.
As you desire.
Okay. So, who wants to roll for David Humphreys to beam everyone home?
I will. I'll be David Humphreys again.
All right.
Please fail royally with complications and kill us both.
Reason plus engineering. Difficulty of 1. Ah, 2 successes. And the Bonaventure can, of course, support you with a sensors plus engineering test.
Okay, rolling.
And 2 more successes.
Woo.
That brings the momentum up to 4.
During combat, we need to have David Humphreys just transporting people all over the place, getting us momentum.
True.
I'm guessing if there is going to be combat, you want David Humphreys doing other stuff.
Nah. Why would the engineer be important in combat?
Yeah, you're probably right.
Yep.
Okay, so you guys transport back to the Bonaventure, and we'll change scenes to the tour of the ship, which drops your momentum from 4 to 3. At this point, Dr. Bassa, you have completed the inoculation.
Okay, so I'm going to head towards anyone who is having any contact with our Orion friend.
So right now, the captain is giving a tour. So, Captain, what are you going to show them?
I'm going to show them. I think we should probably start out at the bridge and work our way from there.
Okay. And so, what's after the bridge?
We're going to go to our science labs.
Okay.
Yep. There are many modular science labs. You can tell them about, the exciting but mundane experiments we've been performing.
Okay.
Certainly nothing to do with the Walian language.
Okay.
Yeah, take them to the ones not being occupied by...
Yeah, like hydroponic
Fuck and all
fruit
that, yeah.
experiment.
So deepest Zorak eventually takes his leave, goes back to the shuttlecraft, and goes back to the measurable. But the rest of them continues. Zimpek and deepest Galcon stays with you, as well as, of course, Ozarkzo. Ozarkzo makes a lot of snide comments. It's like, "Oh, how exciting! Science labs."
Science is exciting.
Uh-huh.
Is there a place that you would rather see, Ozarkzo?
Yeah. Don't you have holodecks?
Yeah, we do. We do have those.
I've heard of some of the programs that can be run in the holodeck. Tell me, how often are they cleaned?
After every use.
I bet they are, aren't they?
It's just standard practice. Would you like to go see?
Of course. Let's go see.
Great, let's go.
Okay, so you guys continuing on. Jake, when you get back to the Bonaventure, Cesara's like, before we get doing anything, I'm so hungry. Can we quickly eat before we do anything?
Absolutely. I'm taking you to that restaurant that I told you about.
You know, I just don't want to be around a lot of other people. Do you have a replicator in your room?
Of course.
Fantastic. You just get this like slow rise in aggression coming from Ithrasi, and then it just kind of peters out. She just kind of like shakes her head, and she looks kind of sluggish.
That's... I don't know if I've ever felt that from her before. A decline in aggression.
I make sure to also inoculate myself as well before I go.
That's fair.
But yeah.
Well, come with me right this way. We'll go ahead to my quarters where we can have some privacy.
Ithrasi just says, "I'm gonna go to the bridge," and turns around and kind of, and there's two security personnel that go with you.
Sounds good.
Okay, so you go to your quarters. Fade to black. So, Dr. Bassett, you do arrive at the tour. Ozarkzo is making snide comments. General Zimpek is occasionally saying really creepy things. And the captain is trying his damnedest to keep everybody tap dancing for everybody verbally, not literally tap dancing. And you walk in.
That would be impressive.
Holding your hypo spray.
Captain? Sorry,
Yes?
can I interrupt for a moment? I'm
Yes.
sorry. I know this is a very exciting tour. I
Yes,
pull him aside and I'm
Doctor?
like, I have the inoculation for. Have you seen Commander Hex?
He seems very enamored with
Okay.
one of our
Can I
guests.
administer this hypo spray to you right now?
Certainly, I don't see why that's necessary.
Okay.
Our guest is very friendly and really welcome.
Okay.
Just reaches up as he's talking.
As soon as he says, "Of course," I don't even listen to the rest of it. I'm like, "Okay, thank you." And I asked the computer.
Well, there's Marcus there, so I'm assuming you get him
do
as
Marcus
well.
Absolutely. And then
And the security team.
Yeah.
This is your dream, isn't it? Walking around and hypo spraying people in the face.
Well, I would rather just gas everyone. But
So,
I'll take this.
This inoculation is administered. Do our feelings or perceptions or memories of Cesara change?
Well, you found your thoughts dwelling on her, but it was kind of like slowly becoming less as time went on. And when you hit that, so there's not like an immediate noticeable change, but you do certainly kind of find yourself a little more clear. All right, Dr. Bassa, you've done that. Now what?
I use the computer to locate Commander Hex.
Commander Hex is in his quarters.
Excellent. I make my way there.
Oh dear.
I'm
Hey,
gonna
this
be
is
like
gonna
the queen of
change
awkward interactions
scenes.
here.
That's down to 2 momentum. You get to his quarters.
I ring the little buzzer thing.
The buzzer goes off. Now, Jake, your character is, how you say, in flagrante.
Delecto.
What?
In flagrante delecto.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, no, I'm not going to answer any buzzers.
So
No.
the computer does not read anything.
Okay.
Or the computer doesn't. The door doesn't open.
There's no response. Yeah.
That's sorry.
I know he's in there, so I'm sure I have some kind of medical. I can open the door even if it's locked. In case of
Absolutely.
emergency thing. So I make sure I open the door.
All right. So quite a vision hits you. What do you do?
Commander Hex.
Don't you knock?
I did.
Get out.
I have a really important medicine to give you. You're behind in your checkups as always.
It can wait.
Hello.
Sarah's kind of like pretty unconcerned. She's like, "Hi."
Tell him.
Hi.
Tell him it's his.
I'll bring him back to you. I just need him for a
spray.
moment.
Well, if you have to. I'm busy.
It can wait. We're busy here.
You know what?
Be rude to our guest.
I'll just come over there. I'll shield my eyes if that's okay. And I'm just gonna administer this. And so I awkwardly go over there while they are doing their horizontal tango and inoculate Commander.
Do you really think at this point that's going to do anything?
It probably won't stop you from what you're doing right now, but maybe when your head clears, it's like the bad memory of like, oh man, should I really have done that? The next day.
Yes, the answer to that question was yes. Absolutely yes.
Oh dear.
Wonderful.
Okay, so Dr. Bassa, I'm assuming, leaves. Kirid
Yep, sure do.
does what he's going to do, and your head does clear, and after things have wound down, you suddenly realize that you had intimate relations with a diplomatic guest while you were on duty.
Crap. Boy, that really hits you in the face, doesn't it? Huh. Well. All right. Zara, it was fantastic spending this time with you. I've got to get back to work.
She's quite happy to let you go.
All right.
Can't just leave her there.
If you'd come with me, I can take you so that you can rejoin the tour.
Yeah,
It's
I'm certain
progress.
when you open up the door, Dr. Bass is waiting for you outside. Now you're quite embarrassed and, a little more aware of your actions.
You should always listen to your doctor.
That was... have a good one. All right.
I'll get you checked over. I'll get you checked over for other things afterwards.
Could you escort Cesara back to the tour group?
Absolutely. Cesara, come with me.
Great. Back at the tour group, Captain Celis is showing various things. He had to shut down the holodeck tour because Ozarxo was certainly trying to access programs that are better left off the diplomatic tour. and he's moving on to another area of the ship, showing the computer core. When Deepest Gelcon suddenly leans over to Zimpek, and Zimpek's eyes raise up, and he says, "Captain, I'm sorry. Time for us."
Why is that? We were only just beginning our tour. We have much left to tour.
The Deepest is very old. I must escort that on the
Does he
shuttle.
have to? Does he have to roll for a lie? Because that's clearly a lie.
I don't
Yeah,
think
he
he has to, because you guys can make those ascertain. You can ascertain whether or not that's a lie. The characters that you're interacting with, I'm trying not to just guess for them.
So I think that is a lie, but I mean, like, what can we do? Like, throw him in the brig?
Well, maybe try and sense motive. I don't know the mechanic.
When this happens,
How would we?
Ozarkso raises an eyebrow and is just like, "Oh, hey, I think it's time for me to go. Where's my daughter?"
We
This
should
point,
have been meeting him.
Dr.
can
Basso
certainly
walks
track
in
her
with
down.
Cesara.
Ah, here we are. How was the tour? Excellent. I'm glad you all enjoyed it. My favorite is the lab where we're studying botany. Did you take a look at those splicing between the hibiscus flower and the fennel seed?
We did, and it was, I think our guests were really enthralled by what they saw.
The phenobiscus. It's going to be beautiful.
It is.
All right, this is over. Cesara, let's go. Take me to a transporter. At this
Very
point,
well.
everybody starts going their own separate directions. With the General Zimpek and Deepest Gelcon going down to the shuttle bay, and Cesara and Ozarkso going transporter pad, and everybody going back to their own ship.
You need to wake
Wonderful.
those things up quick, or figure out how to communicate quick, or something quick.
Speaking of which, you guys can make a research roll.
Yeah.
First of all, would you like to
Yeah.
spend a momentum to have the length of time decrease?
Yes. Yes.
Yes.
Okay, that's one momentum. You're down to one. Second of all, you are going to be researching which one? So
Give
we
us our options again.
must be whale species, telepathic communication only. It's not actually communication, and password.
Telepathic?
Yeah.
Is one of those right?
Yes, one of those is correct.
I'm favoring telepath.
Yeah.
Okay, so I need was it Falk and the linguist rolls? Who's gonna roll for Falk?
I'll roll for fuck.
Okay. And since they're using the they're not using the laboratory, are they? Yes, they are.
So does that mean the ship assists, or what does that mean?
Well, the ship will assist, but I think you get an extra dice.
Nice.
Who's the linguist? Who's gonna be the linguist?
Why did
nice.
Falk roll? Oh, yes, 3 dice. Yes. So 3 successes, as well as the ship being assisting with computers plus science.
All right. I'm not sure what the target for that is, but is it 2d20 or 1d20?
Computers plus science is a 11. 2d20. So that is 5 successes total. So
Plus
that is
yeah.
5 successes across on the telepathic communication only. That is not the correct answer. But you
Next I'm
have
going with
you
chemicals.
have completed that in that hour. I do like that all of these like tensions are happening in diplomacy and tours, and in the background there's just like furious science. Like inoculations and like linguistic challenges and things happening in the background. I do enjoy that that's a thing. At this point, you get after everyone leaves, the captain gets from Ithrasi, Captain, to the bridge. All senior staff to the bridge.
Let's go to the bridge.
Okay.
Immediately.
Wonderful. Racing to the bridge.
Everyone
This is going to be fun.
races up to the bridge. When you get there, Ithrasi says, Captain, the immeasurable and the fathomless have sent out a dispersed tachyon energized particle net that means that no one can transport on or off of anywhere in this area. No transports can occur.
Well, it prevents the Orions from beaming aboard.
Does it prevent the Orions from being aboard. You also have 2 security staff on the Walian ship that you now can't beam back.
Yeah.
Not cool.
Well, we'd probably want to hail them in this case.
Okay, you're
So
going to
they can-
hail whom?
Sorry, which ship is emitting this?
Both the immeasurable and the fathomless in concert.
In concert. Could we bring them both up?
Yep.
Great.
So General
So-
Zimpek and General Vlaseg come up on the screen side by side. General Zimpek goes, Captain. So
Yes,
good.
General. It has been a long time.
Put 'em on
Too
mute.
long. As you know, generals, we have some of our crew still on the ship, and we would like to get them back. Clearly, you have other interests, and we just want to get our crew back, and we'll be very happy if you would let us do that.
Consider them martyrs for the day.
It's not acceptable. We would need to get our crew back.
We have discovered the trajectory of this craft. Furthermore, we've discovered that this information had been downloaded once previously. You have been lying to us since we got here. Relations with the Tyneridea and the Federation are not going to be very good at the end of this encounter. Now, we demand that you leave this sector immediately. We will be destroying this ship to protect our world.
Well, we won't be leaving without our crew members, so it seems we're at an impasse.
Very well. May the abyss favor you. And he and General Vlaseg disappear. Their weapons begin powering. Immediately after that, the weapons on the Wanderer class starships of the Orions begin powering. And everybody's shields go up.
So we want to go to red alert.
Red alert!
Well,
This is going really well. And we lost our captain.
That's a problem.
Yeah.
no, I got this. All right, ramming speed. Oh, dang.
That's good. I
So
heard some
when
bad
you
decisions were being
disappeared, Kirid ordered a full ram.
We're not exactly sure of who.
Yeah, I mean, it may very well come to that, but
Everyone. Just ram everyone.
premature.
So the ships ahead of you are readying themselves to engage in combat.
Is there any indication as to who is targeting who?
Yes. So, the immeasurable and oh, here, you know what? I actually have a screen for that.
There's an app for that.
Uh-oh.
Everyone see
Oh
that?
yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Ooh.
Wow, we're in a bad spot here. Who put us there? Someone should talk to them.
You did.
So if you click on each of these, you should be able to see the resistance, the power, and the shields of each of these ships.
I can
do
only
not-
see
does not
ours.
Oh, you can only see yours. I see.
Yeah.
I'll give you that information kind of if you get that information, scans and whatnot. Here, as you can see, is the Walian ship. Here is you. The immeasurable is targeting, which is here. Can you see the names, by the way?
No.
No.
Okay.
No.
Just
So
you.
this is the immeasurable.
Okay.
The immeasurable is targeting the Bonaventure
Oops,
Okay.
rude.
and the Bintech, which is here. The Bintech is targeting the Bonaventure
What?
and the immeasurable. The Fathomless and the Bizrak are targeting each other and the Bonaventure.
I think we should target all 4 of them.
It's a Mexican standoff. Wonderful.
Can we get behind this big 80-kilometer ship and use that as a
Cover?
cover?
You
I could
certainly
do that if you
can.
want me to.
I mean, the immeasurable and the fathomless would love that because they'll just start pounding the ship until it's destroyed. You're the only thing keeping that from happening. So, before we get into combat, and Aaron, you may end up editing this quite vigorously, which is totally fine. But I definitely think that we should probably take a few moments to review where we're going to be and what we're going to do as combat begins. All right? The first things first, let's review the Bonaventure. Now, each of you in your handouts has a Bonaventure available to you. Does everyone see that at the bottom of where the characters are? Should be able to
Yes.
open it up. Now, unfortunately, it's not the greatest quality and it's at an angle, and you have to read my handwriting. But you do have that as a reference if you should need it. Okay?
Okay.
So let's just quickly review everything. First of all, it's a technical test bed. It's been through 9 refits. And its systems scores are engines at 11, computers at 9, weapons at 11, structure at 11, sensors at 10, and communications at 8. Its scale is at a 5. It's definitely a huge ship compared to the rest of these ships. Each one of the rest of these ships are a scale 3. Okay? Excelsior class starships are ginormous. Not quite as big as a Galaxy, but they're in the same ballpark. Galaxy classes are a scale 6. All right?
Okay.
Departments that the Bonaventure has: Command 2, Security 2, Science 2, Con 2, Medicine 2, and Engineering 5. So 2 is kind of like Starfleet standard, right? This is the average. So some Starfleet ships might have as low as a 1, which is very minimal stuff and minimal crew assigned to it. But 2 is about what the standard is. Ships try to get above that in any way they can. 5 is state of the art, best in the fleet. So your engines are amazing, which goes into your mission profile, which is technical test bed. Now, Your traits are Federation Starship and long-serving. You have a total power of 17, but you have spent some of that. I write that. Was it? Did you spend 4 power?
I don't know.
I thought we spent 2.
I think you only spent 2. So let me just take the 2 away. So you currently have 15 out of 17 power. This ain't no runabout. Your shields are at a 13. Right? With your scale being 5, that means your resistance is also a 5. You're built like a tank. All right?
Good.
Let's go over your talents for the ship. Make sure you know what the ship can do.
All right.
So first thing you have is improved impulse drive. So that means the ship's impulse drives are more powerful than on most ships, allowing the ship to accelerate much more quickly. When the flight controller succeeds at impulse, attack pattern, evasive action, or ramming speed tasks, and this is on page 256, they may spend 2 momentum to increase the difficulty of attacks against the ship by 1 until the start of the flight controller's next turn due to the ship's rapid acceleration. Right? You're a hot rod. You also have secondary reactors. The ship has additional impulse and fusion reactors that allow the ship to generate far greater quantities of energy. You increase the ship's normal power capacity by 5, why you have 17 total power. Right?
Yes.
Improved warp drive. Ship's warp drive is more efficient, capitalizing on improved field dynamics, better control of antimatter flow rates, or some other advancement that allows the ship to expend less energy when traveling at warp. Whenever the ship spends power to go to warp, roll 1d6 for each power spent. On each effect rolled, that point of power is not spent. I don't think we have to look up modular laboratories because I don't think it's going to come up a lot in combat.
You never know.
Never know.
We set up the labs for ship-to-ship combat. Did we not
Really,
tell
we're
you?
going to beam the entire lab over with anesthetizing gas.
Yes.
The last is rugged design. The ship is designed with the frontier in mind, with a durable construction and easy access to critical systems that allow repairs to be made easily. Reduce the difficulty of all tasks to repair the ship by 1 to a minimum of 1.
Woo.
All right? So when
Got
I was
this.
saying how the Bonaventure was kind of a tank, that's what I was talking about. Your scale is huge. You have this rugged design. You have power like crazy coming out of the engine. All right?
Excellent.
Now,
Alrighty.
let's see what else you got. You also have phaser banks with the quality versatility too, and range, right? Yeah, phaser banks. You have photon torpedoes, which have the quality of high yield, range of long, and tractor beams with a strength of 4. It is an
Perfect.
incredibly powerful tractor beam. All right?
Can we pull the giant cigar-shaped chip?
Probably
run
could, but you're going to be being shot at, likely. That's the tricky bit.
I'm sure they won't actually take it that far.
All right. Question is, here we are. We need to divvy up the bridge position.
Yes.
Okay. Now, of course, since it's red alert, I will mention that all research has been suspended during combat.
That makes sense.
Yeah. As everyone reports to battle stations. All right. Okay. So, positions and specific tasks. Commanding officer, well, that's the captain. All right? Now, this, I'm looking on page 221 for this. Helm. Now, that will be Marcus Barton.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? Now, navigator is in charge of plotting the ship's course and determining spatial conditions that affect the ship along its course. Do you also want to give this to Marcus? Now, here's the rub. How initiative works is you guys go first because you're the player characters, and you keep going until either all of the players have gone or until your ship's scale has been met. You have a scale of 5. Right? So you can have everybody go.
Excellent.
But in theory, you can also add a single NPC to and assign them to one of these stations.
I think Athrasi needs to be on tactical.
Mm.
Well, of course. Okay.
And so that's the
That's
fifth.
5th, I guess, yeah. So navigator, make sense for Timothy to be navigator as well?
I would say so.
Yeah.
Okay. Sensor operations.
That's me, unfortunately.
Okay. Okay, Kirid is on sensor operations. Security monitor. So that station covers all matters of internal security, such as containment fields, deployment of personnel, and internal sensors.
Athrasi probably should have that.
Or
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, Captain, what did you say?
Athrasi's on the main tactical, is she not?
Yeah, that's the next one we'll be assigning, so.
Okay, I think maybe internal security should go to Xandra, so Athrasi can take tactical.
Okay. Wait. You can't. You don't have enough room to assign another in.
Never mind.
Sorry, that was a great idea, and I almost wrote it down. But
in theory, can't we do that and then just have not all stations will be able to go in a round?
Yeah, you certainly can.
Because functionally, that's what's going to be anyway, whether Athrasi has it or Xandra has it. Athrasi can take one action, so it's going to be on either station.
Mm-hmm.
So functionally, I like Xandra having it.
Which would you prefer?
Because keep in mind, we're also going to have David on doing engineering, and he's going to be taking actions a lot. Like rerouting power and modulating shields and keeping us alive, that sort of thing.
Control plus security. 9 and 4. 1 sec.
Ooh, he's statting it out.
I can't actually see Athrasi stats.
Oh, really?
Yeah, no.
Wow. Yeah.
Here. Change that. How's that?
There it is.
There are stats.
That is a ridiculous amount of control.
Yeah. So the main security task, I assume that they would be performing, would be weapons control, which
That's
is
tactical.
control. Yeah. I'm just
For the internal security, they're dealing with if like there are any boarders on board.
yeah.
And sometimes
Okay.
like doing things like it's containment field, so you could be like containing breaches and shit like that too, in theory.
Yep.
So yeah, why don't we use Xandra for that?
Okay. So security monitor. Xandra. Okay. Tactical systems. I'm guessing Athrasi.
Athrasi. Yeah.
Athrasi.
Okay. Communications.
Well, what's the doctor going to be doing in all this?
Well,
Whatever you want me to.
she'll be taking over one of the characters.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, perfect.
Yeah, because the doctor typically doesn't do a lot during combat. Like in theory, in the background, like if there's injuries or she's handling that stuff down in sick bay. But for the function of having a player have actually something to do on screen, she'll be handling something. So I mean, what I'm going to suggest is that she probably handles like Athrasi and Xandra.
Yes. I can take communications.
Okay. And then internal systems control. David?
Yeah. Let's have the engineer in charge of that.
Okay. So I'm going to suggest that the captain also runs David.
Okay.
All right.
Now, remember that you get 5 turns, right? And they'll generally roll in order of rank. So we'll do it that way. And the other ships will go, like you guys will go once, then the other ships will go, then you guys will go once, then the other ships will go, and so on. Since you're so much larger and have just much more crew and more ability to do shit, you'll end up with like 2 turns at the end that you can play with where they won't be able to respond, which is, not gonna lie, a pretty huge advantage. But you know, you are outnumbered, but is what it is.
Pish posh.
Now, Captain,
Mm-hmm.
there are 2 schools of thought to how this works for Star Trek Adventure. One is the captain makes general calls of what they want to have happen, and they kind of like give general orders. You don't necessarily have to tell them micromanage everything everybody on the bridge is doing, but you can say, you know, you can yell out take evasive action, and then Marcus tries to make you as hard as possible to hit however he deems fit. Right? Which is probably how most people have play it. The other way to do it is kind of generally let everybody manage their own stations, and then you just kind of have a veto. And I'll allow as much metagame as you need during this. Just to simulate the fact that you're well-trained crew, you work together well as you're yelling back and forth, orders are being issued, those sorts of things are happening. Which of those approaches do you think is easier for you?
I guess, yeah, let everyone handle their own stations. If there's something particular I'd like to do, I mean, there's the direct command. So
there is the direct command, but you can also just be like, "Hey, Marcus, I want you to do this," which doesn't take an action and doesn't even have to be on your turn.
Okay.
Yeah. But yeah, so it sounds to me like generally you guys will be operating your own areas, but he'll reserve the right to be like, "No, I want this done right."
All right.
Does that sound fair to everybody? This is the tricky bit of business with playing a role-playing game where you have like kind of ranks going on. But it makes sense to me that this just seems easier to handle while still giving the captain the role of the friggin' captain.
That's true.
Right?
Mhm. Yeah.
All right. Are there any questions before we move forward?
Okay, so I'm Xandra and I'm
Ithrasi.
Ithrasi. So my two roles are what and what again? I just want to remember.
Security monitor and tactical system.
Okay.
So you remember where to find that on your rule books, right?
Yep.
Okay.
Mhm.
So yeah, this time instead of the holodeck deathmatch, you don't have to be responsible for every possible thing that your character could do across multiple things. You just kind of have like a few options that you can focus in on. Now, how we're going to handle, since we have, 7 people and 5 moves, at the beginning of each turn, I'm going to ask you which 5 are going this turn.
Yeah.
Okay? And then what we'll do is we'll go through that. You will not be able to change that in the middle of your turn. So if you suddenly have to use engineering and you can't right now, you're just going to have to wait till the next turn. Do the best you can.
Sounds good.
Okay? Any other questions?
I think we're good.
Okay. It's coming up on 8:15, and it doesn't make sense to start a combat at the end with only 15 minutes left.
Yeah.
So we are scheduled to play tomorrow. Call it here.
Are we scheduled for tomorrow?
Sure.
That's right.
Sounds good.
All right.
Okay, great. Let's stop recording. Broadcast.